Bravo to you. Nice and not a problem. I love you too. Good morning. Thank you for your text. So happy, and I love you, my friend. How would you like to wake up with these messages on your phone on a regular basis? Well, I'm going to share with you a practice I started about a year ago that has blown my phone up with these messages and made life more meaningful. Hi, everyone. I'm Jen, founder of Life After Busy and productivity consultant for female creatives and entrepreneurs who want to achieve more by doing less. And this week, I want to talk about my favorite way to show gratitude. So because of my gratitude practice, I have been getting messages just like I just shared, filling up my phone. So I want to share with you, what is that gratitude practice? And when you hear the words gratitude practice, your brain sometimes goes to maybe writing down in a journal, I'm thankful for my warm bed, or everybody, here we are in the month of November, everybody gathered around a table for Thanksgiving and showing thanks. This is a little bit different, and I'm going to show you exactly why. So my gratitude practice, I actually send a message of gratitude to somebody else, a friend, a family member, a coworker, just somebody that stood out to me. And I recognize them for having done something good in my life, or something that I've seen them do good out into the world. I acknowledge them with detail. And I'm going to show you an example of what that looks like. And in return, I get so much joy out of it, because not only does it feel good to send messages like that and recognize other people, but often I get messages of gratitude sent back to me. So what it is basically just a message. It can be a message on Facebook Messenger if that's how you're connected with that person. It can be a text message. It could be a handwritten note. Those are even more special. And if you even want to take it up a notch, you can read that handwritten note face to face with whoever you're showing gratitude to. And I sent a message of gratitude a little bit ago to my very first boss out of college, the first person who was my boss out of college, and I'm going to share that with you. So here's an example of what I'm talking about. It's a Facebook message to the guy who hired me as a college kid. I thanked him for believing in me and giving me my first job. He continued to give advice and just continued to pour into me. And this is exactly the type of gratitude I mean. If you guys want to know specifically the questions I ask myself and the science that is around gratitude and how it can truly creating a gratitude practice that's set up the right way can be life-changing. I discussed all of this in my very first Unbusy Community Live earlier this month, and I'm going to send a link to it down below if you're interested in joining us in the Unbusy community. Okay, now we're in the month of November at the precipice of the holiday season. So I want to talk a little bit about holidays and how it relates to gratitude. And I want you to think of a favorite gift you've ever given, because thinking about gratitude, a good question to ask yourself is, why do you gift in the first place? And one of my favorite gifts I've ever given was, I was probably in my 20s, so some time ago, but I didn't have a lot of money. So I was just out of college, barely making ends meet on my own. And I think I got this idea from Oprah. I love Oprah. And basically it was a jar. And what I did was I asked my friends and family who had gathered for the holidays just to take a few minutes to kind of pull them aside and ask them to write down one feeling or positive emotion they had about my mom. some message that they wanted to share with her. And I just had these little scraps of paper that I handed out to everybody, and then I collected them and I put them in this jar and I wrapped it up and I gave it to her as a gift. So it was basically just like a jar full of joy for my mom. And it felt really good to give that. There was a lot of tears shed when she opened that gift. But just a few years back when she passed away, I actually found that jar with all of those messages. You guys, she kept that gift, and it was just so touching how much that meant to her. So that is by far my favorite gift I have ever given at the holiday season. So spend some time thinking about the gifts that you give and why you're giving them, because it's a perfect opportunity to show gratitude. And as I was doing some research for this video, I came across a study that showed that gifts from the receiver's perspective are often better loved, better received when you give something that you love, rather than trying to buy something that you think that person will love. You know, common sense, if you're going to go out and buy a gift for someone, if you trying to think of them and what you think that person would like. But oftentimes when you give something you love, it's like you're giving a piece of yourself to that other person. Of course, it's got to make sense, right? Like if I'm going to give my favorite makeup palette to my husband, it's not going to work. But I just thought that was an interesting correlation, some interesting science around gifting. And then one final piece I wanted to share about showing gratitude and gifting around the holidays is the idea of gifting experiences. This has been something that I have loved to do forever and ever. You always have to get a little bit creative about how you're going to package it up and put it under the tree, or, you know, give it at Hanukkah or whatever it is you celebrate. Last year, we gifted a trip to Disneyland for our kids. It was a total surprise. And what I did was took some helium Mickey Mouse balloons and wrapped them in a giant box so that when they opened it, the balloons came out. So much joy on their faces. But it's a kind of a gift that keeps on giving, because not only do you give the gift of them actually receiving and opening that package, but then you get to go on that trip. So we got to go and take that Disney vacation and have all of the memories and the stories to share really for a lifetime. So that is what I wanted to come on and talk to you about today. My favorite ways to show gratitude, my favorite ways to give. I hope this allows you to deepen your gratitude practice this November and take it throughout the holiday season. Please be sure to like, follow, and subscribe, and I will see you guys next week. One last thing for you. If you're watching this in the month of November, I have just released the Shoppers Black Friday to Cyber Monday tactics. All of my hard-earned secrets for how to get your shopping done before the 1st of December, so you can actually sit back and enjoy the holidays. So I'm going to link to a short where I showed you what the templates look like inside of this tactics guide, and I'll link to the tactics down below.